When most people see this, they won't see any significance at all. Their minds would go immediately to this is some kind of ancient pornographic material, to which it is. It's a Roman dude having sex with a Roman woman in a very acrobatic way. But why is this significant at all? Because at the time frame this was found, and it is dated back between 30 to 70 CE, current era. And the Romans were known for carvings and historical records and all those sorts of things. And from 30 to 70 CE, they made sure to show exactly how they was getting it on. But why is this significant? Well, because of this. You see, this is the earliest picture of Jesus. It's the earliest thing, the oldest we can find. And it is dated around 200 CE. Exactly, yes. About 170 years later, this is the only and earliest picture of Jesus that they have ever discovered. Now, why is it that we can find this at the time frame of Jesus, but you can't find this at the time frame of Jesus? Now, before any Christians say that, well, the lewd behavior of the Romans during that time frame, just put them in a situation where they would definitely, record things like that, Before any of that is said, understand this, that Judea was under Roman control. And according to your book, Paul, in and around that time frame, if he existed, was going around and he was teaching Christianity, both in Rome and in Thessalonica and in Antioch, all these places where Roman citizens were, and they were coming to Christianity in droves. So there would have been Roman Gentiles, artists, who would have started believing in Jesus, but yet no artistic work. And it wasn't because of any persecution. So before you go there and start talking about persecution, it wasn't because of any persecutions. Maybe it's just the fact that Christianity wasn't created yet. That until 69, 70 AD, when Vespasian became emperor, that's when Christianity actually began. And the story was backdated in order to make Nero look bad and to make it look like Vespasian and Titus were prophesied to become emperor. Maybe that's why. But here's the other aspect of it. With so many great Roman artists around, this is the best that they could do. This is the best. Which actually demonstrates more or less that this was this growing little religion that wasn't as big and bountiful because maybe Paul just didn't exist. And so therefore there wasn't all this conversion going on, because this is rudimentary. This is something that, the lowest caste in society would have produced. This is something a child would have produced. But if this religion was being, by the 200s, if this religion was being, there were scholars of this religion and there were artists of this is the best y'all got. When the Romans were produce this type of artwork, that this type of skill level existed in 30 to 50 CE, this type of skill work was available, but that was the best. That's the best Christians could do back then. That's the best. It really should make you question whether or not these stories are actually true and the history that you've been given is actually true. Paul never existed, so therefore there wasn't this big Roman growth of Christianity in the elites or in a higher caste system that he was hanging around with, hobnobbing with. That maybe Paul just didn't exist and Paul was a later creation by the church. And that's why half of the letters that are attributed to Paul, scholars have already deemed that those were not written by Paul. So therefore Paul probably didn't exist. And since in 30 CE to 70 CE, there was nothing about Christianity in artwork and pottery and anything, maybe it didn't start until Vespasian commissioned Josephus to create it in order to shut down the Jewish messianic movement that was going on throughout the Roman Empire, especially in Alexandria, Egypt, because he would like to focus on Judea. But in Alexandria, Egypt, there was actually more Jews in that area and causing more of a disruption to one of the most wealthiest places in the Roman Empire. So maybe that's why Philo of Alexander was also in cahoots with Josephus to begin this Christian story. But hey, Go check out these things for yourself. Verify the information. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.